Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, I want you to forget everything you think you know about hacking. We're going to dive into a world where, honestly, the biggest security threat isn't some faceless hacker in a dark room. It's you. Yeah, you. The game has totally changed, and the attacks are smarter, they're way more personal, and they are hiding in plain sight. So here's our game plan. We're going to walk through how attackers are turning us into their own unwilling accomplices. We'll look at how they're weaponizing the very tools that are supposed to protect us, and how they've built this massive, global, industrialized economy for cybercrime. We'll also get into the double-edged sword that is AI, and most importantly, we're going to arm you with the knowledge you need to defend yourself on this new digital battlefield. All right, let's start with maybe the most surprising vulnerability of all. Forget about all those complex software exploits for a second. The new frontier, the place where hacking is really innovating, is in realizing that the target isn't just your software anymore, it's you. And look, this isn't some hypothetical, some thought experiment. This is a real social engineering technique that is, well, it's alarmingly effective. It completely sidesteps traditional security by turning you into the unwitting insider. It's a technique called ClickFix, and it is just deviously simple. It preys on our basic instinct to solve problems. It convinces you to copy and paste malicious code right into your own system, but it's disguised as a helpful solution to some problem you might not have even known you had. The Shamos campaign is a perfect and kind of scary example of how this works. It weaponizes our desire to be helpful and proactive. You search for a fix to a problem, you find a guide, you follow the steps, and in your effort to do the right thing, you become the instrument of your own compromise. You're literally handing over your most sensitive data. And this is what it can look like. So simple, right? Attackers hide these incredibly dangerous scripts behind harmless-looking commands just like this one. You're told it's a quick fix, but what you're really doing is opening the front door and inviting the malware right on in. It's the ultimate Trojan horse for the digital age. Okay, so tricking the user is just step one, but believe me, the rabbit hole goes way deeper. Now, attackers are evolving to trick the very systems and applications we trust and rely on every single day. So the game is no longer just about stealing your password. Multi-factor authentication, or MFA, made that a lot harder. So now the goal is to steal an access token. They do this by tricking trusted applications into giving them direct, persistent access, which, and this is the real kicker, completely bypasses MFA. And this new technique is called ConsentFix. It basically hijacks the legitimate authorization process that we use all the time to connect apps, like when you link a new service to your Microsoft account, and it turns that trusted process into an attack. Okay, so here's how this crazy attack works. Instead of using some obviously malicious third-party app that might get flagged, the attackers abuse a trusted first-party Microsoft application, the Azure command line interface, against its own users. And because it's a Microsoft tool, it's implicitly trusted, which makes this attack so much harder to spot and prevent. And the threat is also coming from inside our most trusted development tools. Campaigns like Shai-Hulud 2.0 are poisoning the very software supply chain that developers rely on. They're embedding malicious code that runs before security scans can even catch it. This is literally an attack on the foundation of how all modern software is built. And get this, for a creative and frankly brilliant twist, attackers are now using AI APIs not to generate malicious text, but as a secret communication channel. With a backdoor called SesameOp, they hide their commands inside of API calls to OpenAI. This makes all their malicious traffic look just like legitimate AI activity. It is the definition of hiding in plain sight. So, as you can imagine, the sophistication of all these techniques hasn't gone unnoticed. In fact, it's fueled the rise of a professional, service-based economy for cybercrime, making it easier than ever for, well, pretty much anyone to become a threat actor. Yeah, operations like pig butchering as a service have just dramatically lowered the barrier to entry. You no longer need to be a technical genius, you just need to be a customer. They provide literally everything you need to run a successful scam, from the technology all the way down to the scripts. And the price for all this? It's startlingly low. For as little as $2,500, a criminal can buy a complete, ready-to-launch scam package. We're talking a convincing website, a mobile app, and even the paperwork for a front company. This is not a small-time operation. This is an industry. And this isn't just about individual criminals either. We're talking state-sponsored. Groups like Jasper Sleet, which is linked to North Korea, are placing highly skilled IT workers inside legitimate companies using totally fake identities. They do their jobs, and they do them well, all while funneling money back to the regime and constantly looking for opportunities to steal valuable secrets. It's like a real-life spy movie playing out in the corporate world every single day. All right, let's move to the real cutting edge. Because as you might have guessed, artificial intelligence is rapidly becoming both a powerful weapon and an essential shield in this ongoing battle. We are officially in the AI arms race of the digital age. Attackers are already using AI to create much more convincing fake identities, doctoring photos on stolen IDs to look professional and legit. They're also finding brand new vulnerabilities created by AI itself, like weak default credentials that large language models often spit out in their sample code. But the good news is that defenders are fighting back with AI of their own. They're using tools like Security Copilot to speed up incident investigations, applying behavioral detection to spot anomalies a human might miss, and building scanners to detect the very deep fakes and malicious code created by the other side's AI. It's a constant, high-stakes game of cat and mouse. So with this incredibly complex and constantly evolving threat landscape, what can we actually do to protect ourselves? How do you stay safe in this new era? The modern playbook, it really requires a layered defense. It absolutely starts with us, the users, educating ourselves to be that first line of defense against social engineering. But then it extends to deep technical controls, enforcing the principle of least privilege, hardening your software supply chain, and using cloud-native protection to block threats automatically. And here's just a little glimpse into how proactive defense actually works. Defenders aren't just sitting around waiting for an alert. They're actively hunting for threats, using specific, tailored queries, like this one, to search their system logs for the faintest footprints of an attack, like command injection. It's basically like being a digital detective. Ultimately, what this all means is that the entire security paradigm has shifted. We've moved way beyond just protecting a network perimeter, a firewall. The new battle is being fought over a much more abstract landscape, one of human trust, digital identity, and the security of the very tools we use to build our digital world. It's a battle for the soul of the internet. And this all leaves us with a critical and, honestly, a kind of unsettling question to think about as we navigate our increasingly complex digital lives. The answer isn't simple, and it's one we're all going to need to keep asking. In a world where seeing is no longer believing, who and what can we truly trust?